Hello, and thank you for checking out this tutorial. Make sure to go down to the settings on this YouTube video and increase the speed, because when I'm trying to make the videos and control the computer and everything, sometimes I pause and it'll just be faster and it goes smoother. So I would recommend increasing it to at least 1.5 speed or even faster. So okay, for this tutorial we're going to go over how to use GameTextures.com with this pack. So GameTextures.com included or allowed me to include textures in this pack that is used for the landscape. And so if you click on the link, it will take you to their website, and I have 100 credits left, and what I will do is I will, whenever I need to use it, I get a membership for $19 a month, and then you get 100 credits per month, and it's a month-to-month membership, so you can technically just get it for the amount of time that you need and then turn it off, and you get 100 credits per month at that price for commercial use. Okay, so I will click, you can search there, or I will click on just their materials, because they have a bunch of new ones that are here that I want to try out. Okay, so for our system here, you can add it to a project, and I have a Game Textures tutorial one here. If you click add on a project, it will add it. I've already added it to save time for this tutorial, so I will cancel that. And now we will head back on over to Unreal Engine, and we will take a look at one of the landscapes, and we will quickly try to modify it, the textures. Okay, so we'll just try out, let's do one that has triplanar projection. So let's see what this one. Alright, so now while this is kind of loading, I'm going to head on over to GameTextures.com, and I know that I want to try this new powdery clumped snow. I'm going to try a triplanar projection material that I have here, so I think this one right here would be a good example for that. And yeah, I just really like these materials. I've always been a big fan of Game Textures because of what you get. So I'm going to download a credit. The way that works is you can choose if you want PBR generic. You could choose actually to get a substance from like Substance Designer. You can have stuff made, you can actually download it for specifically made for Unreal, and it actually works really well like this. But for this tutorial here, and for my landscape material, what you really only need in the material itself is only the diffuse and the normal map is really what you need for this mobile pack here. So if I come over here to try to look at some of this rock here, and yeah, this one is a triplanar one, so I'm going to open up the material instance that is on here. Now if I were to do this new as a new landscape, what I would have to do is import the landscape, and you would have to go over to the paint, and you would have to associate these layers, but I'm not really going to go over that for this tutorial. It's in the quick start, but so after you associate these layers, they will be available for you there. And for this, I'm going to just change this into a snow. So we have a list of textures here that we can change out. So again, for this one, this mobile one, we only need a diffuse or an albedo, and a normal matte. So PBR generic will work good for that. We're going to take metallic because this is for Unreal Engine, and I'm going to go ahead and get 2K bitmaps because I'm going to keep these smaller for mobile. And I'll get this one downloading. Then, oops, okay. Um, PBR generate metallic. I like how it saves that. I will download this snowy limestone one, and I just think this one here just looks cool, so I just want to try it. Wind swept snow looks pretty cool. Let's see. Jagged, dirty jagged glacial ice. I just kind of want to try these. So I have the rock, the snow, the dirt. So to replace the dirt, I mean, I'm just gonna try some snow swept. And even though I got everything that I wanted right here, it's just a quick little example. I'm just gonna look for snow dunes. How about snow drift? Yeah, well, okay, right here, snow dunes. Packed ice layer here. Yep. So, oh, actually, I want to try this one. Oh, okay. They do have previews. You can preview it like this. See how it tiles. And also, I want this one. Keeps it there. It's nice. And I'll just download one of these because this might actually look cool. So sometimes I tried multiple ones when I'm making the landscapes, but I have a large collection of textures from here already. So now I'm going to just make a tutorial, and I guess for the sake of this, it would go faster if I just import this in right fast from my downloads folder. So I'm gonna import, well, actually, if I just go to my downloads folder, I'm gonna have to extract these. So while I'm extracting this, I'm going to pause the video. Okay. So now that I have all of these right here, what I will need is the base color and the normal map. So just bring them in over to here. So normal and the base color. And this is for mobile, so that's why I don't have like all the roughness and metallic textures, because it's just to save more performance. Okay, so get these in. pause. Okay, so now that I have all of these textures imported, I'm just gonna start trying them out. So we have some rock here. I'm just gonna start out by going up a little bit higher, and we'll just swap out we'll just go down the line. So I'm going to change the dirt out with with that clumpy powdery clumpy snow. Okay, now the powdery clumpy snow normal, and the grass, I know I wanted to use either the windswept snow or the snow dunes, but I'm going to try the snow dunes first. And okay, now this overlay is going to get dealt with here. So this is the one that's kind of matching for it, but actually, yeah, I'm going to play around with that for a second. So flat normal map, okay, that's for the overlay. And the reason that it's a flat normal map is so that it doesn't change the look of the landscape. Okay, so the paint, this is the one that you can paint on. Let's just make it exposed glacial. Well, let's make it yeah, let's make it this one, just so that it can be something that's different. So for the paint diffuse, I'm going to put this exposed glacial ice. And now for the rock, this probably will look really good, but since this is a triplanar example, I'm going to try this one first. So when it's normal map, and now the sand is what gets put on under the ocean height if you wanted to have a body of water. So I think for this one, I'm just going to leave that one alone for now, because so we're going to go back over, and the landscape, it's already been updated, but you can see now that there is this world machine overlay texture that matches and and fits to your the erosion that's on the landscape. So it's not looking too bad at the moment with it, but what I would want to do is probably tint it or change the color of it. So we're going to change the tint of the overlay. Okay, let's just make it slightly kind of bluish, just to make it have that kind of ice feel. You have to click OK in order to see it update. And I mean, it is kind of, one of those. So since I don't really think it's, let's try tinting it really, just to see. I mean, if you wanted it to be kind of moonlit tinted like that, just slow this camera down. Yeah. Just find a little area to kind of go paint. Oh, can I zoom out a bit here? For the distance, if we're in there a little bit closer. I think that since these are 2K textures, probably what I need to do is change the tiling. So let's go to the rock. Where's the There we go, stone texture scale. Alright, let's try, I don't know. I kind of like that. Okay, so let's deal with this overlay. So now these overlays are usually made to, you know, they look kind of sandy when they're coming out of World Machine. You can change them in World Machine, but I'm going to set this back to the original, one of these original color overlays. That should pretty much be all that you need to do. And let's see, so now the pack does come with these mountains, and these mountains have a material instance on them. I mean, these aren't mountains, these are actually background islands. Okay, and you can go into here. Let me get the camera over there. So now you can see that it's made to kind of, you know, look grassy, but that's okay. We can use desaturation, and you can choose how much you want to desaturate it, and you can tint it if you want it to have that kind of blue icy look. You could tint it like that, or you can desaturate it a little bit more. I think for this, something like this would probably match good. So that's what I did for that one. That's all you have to do. You can make it look sandy as well if you wanted, and you could change those ones. Okay. So now that we're on this snowy little place here, we will try to just see if we can play it from here. Oops, sorry about that loud noise there. No, this is a, you know, it is a mobile landscape, so that's why it is a little bit low. The snow ones, it could be sand or alien, whatever you wanted. You could kind of tint it however you wanted. So let's say we don't really like the rock. We want to try a different rock. Oops, gotta slow it down. And you know, I could probably tune it, but you can see how it's not stretching because it has the triplanar projection. So let's just try out at some of this distance here. Let's just try out one different rock one. So we're gonna slap this rock here with normal map, and then we'll go try out the paint layer. So now we have a different rock, and if I were to be, let's just see if I can get the player here. I mean, yeah, we're just gonna fall, but you can kind of see from the perspective of the player, it looks pretty cool. There's no stretching, and you can see how it works. And with this material, you can also be at higher distances and use this. Now, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to try to play around with the paint right fast, and then I should be able to wrap this tutorial up. So you're in landscape mode. I'm going to go over to the paint tab, and I'm going to grab the paint layer info, and I'm going to go over here to use target value, and I'm going to set it to like 0.2. dial down my brush size with the, and we're just gonna give it a little second here to compile the shaders. And alright, so if I wanted to kind of blend in a little bit of other rock here, and you know, this is just kind of like a quick little example. It all has this kind of scaling factor system, the scale system. So it looks to me like this rock that I'm painting, I probably want to change the tiling on the rock that I'm painting. So we'll go up here, paint layer tiling, which is at 0.3. Let's just try 0.2. Let's try 0.5. Let's do like, let's do 0.75. And then just kind of take a look here at what it's like. You know, we can try different, and then you can go back over here to the smooth, and we just smooth some of this out. And you can, spend, I think the texture that I choose here, shift 1, and then I'm going to, now that I have it there, I'm just going to kind of play around with the tiling. I think I was making the number go in the wrong direction earlier, so so now that I've got it a little bit better there, you can mix, you can change them around and mix and use different textures. You can maybe use the overlay texture to add some different noise, different colors and noise to it. You can kind of see that the overlay texture here, and you do have the option to use a second overlay as the paint layer. If you didn't want to paint like a trail or something, you could actually have two of these, up to two of these to use. So if I find this one in the content browser, just find the other ones that are available to you in the pack. Let's try going with this color overlay right here, and we're going to put this one in. We're going to bring this one off over here, and it has a kind of scale factor system that you can use. But also we're going to go back to the tint here and just put this back to being white, and you will have a light kind of texture that gets overlaid over your map. I'm just going to bring it back to blue so you can kind of see its effect. It just adds different coloration to the map, and maybe for the snow landscape you wouldn't need it as much, but if this was sand or something, it probably would work out better for that. So yeah, you can paint on stuff, try out different textures, and we'll see. Oh, one last one I wanted to try. Let's go swap this out for this one. So we'll get this up. And dirty jagged. So I'm gonna just put this in the place of this one. So you can search for it. There's the that one. Put in the normal map. I guess that one I grabbed the wrong. Yeah, probably wasn't the right one. Actually, it was supposed to, let's try this one just to see what it would look like. Yeah. Alright, well, you can just experiment with them, and then the ones that you didn't want, you can have them later for something else, and then you can just delete them. Last, I'll just walk around in it. Oops, sorry about that. I guess I should have changed something with the sand. I could probably put one of those other glacial ones or something down there. But yeah, so I mean that's basically how easy it is, and you could definitely spend a lot of time just going through some of these textures. Sometimes it's fun just to, you know, what I should have done is tried some of these ice block layers. In fact, I might as well just slap one in there at the end. Alright, so I have some of these in right here right quick, and I do have one more thing that I need to bring up about using textures. Okay, so we'll try some glacial, some of these kind of like cliff textures. Need to get this. Okay, yeah, so I mean, you know, you can try out lots of different stuff, and then so, you know, let's say you brought in you had some 2K textures, like the ones that I just brought in, and you know, you kind of see that they scale a little bit differently, and everything. So, you know, when I get this back here, so basically, what you can do is, if you had some textures, and these ones were all brought in at 2048, you can select all their textures, and you can go to bulk edit via property matrix. And if you go into the max texture size right here, so for the max texture size, you could put these down to 1024 or even less if you wanted to, and then it would save it and apply it to all the textures. But you know, that is up to you to decide on what you need to do for your resolution. You could import them at the resolution that you want, or you could go through and change them like that. Either way. Alright, well, thank you for watching the tutorial. Sorry if it took a little bit long.